Okay, so I'm getting this kind of, if you look at this king, he wants to get up, he wants to do something, he wants to say something, but he's not quite doing it yet. He wants to take action, wands are action, but he's not quite doing that yet. So I think I've got this feeling around this of having to keep quiet, or feeling as if you had to keep quiet. I think you wanted to say something. I don't think you did say anything though. And I think something was worrying you. That was what you wanted to speak about, I think. And yeah, I think you were concerned, really worried about someone. I don't think they're in danger, but I think this was around a relationship. It might have been a friend that you had or someone you knew. They were in a relationship with someone that you knew wasn't good for them. They weren't in danger, but it was quite serious. It wasn't just like, oh, you know, you don't like them and you started interfering in their relationship. It wasn't like that. It was something quite serious. It might have been a situation where this person was being isolated from other people. They might have been bad-tempered. There might be something that's serious, but not, they weren't in physical danger. I hope that makes sense to you. It's something like that. And I think you really cared about them. You really wanted to say something. You really wanted to help them. But then you're kind of thinking something like, well, you know, I can say something and, you know, let them know how I feel, but then they might cut me out, because they're just so in love with this person. They're just going to be like, well, you're just trying to go against, you know, my love. You're just trying to go against me. You're just against us as a couple. They're kind of going to, or he or she, whoever this is, they're going to kind of feel like that. They might even turn this around onto you if you say anything. I think that was your fear. I'm just looking at this lizard behind this king's head, a salamander, and it's turning around. So you might have thought, well, if I say anything, they're going to turn around onto me and say, well, you're just jealous. You just don't want us to be happy, or something like that. So you didn't say anything. I think this is what I'm seeing. I don't think you did say anything. And I'm glad you didn't, because I actually think if you had have said anything, they might have even have cut you off. And that wouldn't have been good for you, because I think you'd be worrying about them. It wouldn't be good for them either, because I think eventually, and I think you know this as well, this isn't going to work out for them. This isn't the right person for them. This person's actually quite harmful to them, and it's not going to work out. And that's when they're going to need someone around them helping them. And I think that's where you come in. So if you stay kind of talking to them, close to them, supporting them as a friend or a relative or whatever this is, you don't need to say, oh yes, your partner's wonderful. You just don't say anything about them. Just say, oh, I'm happy, I like you, and talk about other things, and just be there for them, be a support for them. Because when this all kind of comes to an end, they need someone they're going to come to. And I think they've all already turned their back onto other people, or toward other people, I should say. And not everyone, but I think you're one of the ones that are left. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, you're doing the right thing, and I think they're going to need you when this is all over. That's what I'm seeing in that card. So the next card you have your past, it's the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, here it is again. Look at this man. He's turning his back on the town. So I think they've already turned their back on a whole lot of people, and you don't want to be one of those people. And they're also holding on to their heart. So, you know, no one's going to come between, you know, their heart. They're shielding up. They've got this big shield. So no one's going to kind of come between them and this person they think they love. And that's why you're right not to say anything at this time, because it would just make them turn against you. That's what I'm seeing. And you can see what's going on. They can't see what's going on, but you can, because you're on the outside looking in. So yeah, the other thing I'm seeing in this card is someone might be holding on to some information, I think. I hope this is going to make sense. It's a bit, I don't know how clear this is, but okay, so I think there's money around this, obviously. This is the Four of Pentacles. And, you know, I think, again, if you look at this man, he's holding on to these coins. He has his back to the town again. So I think whoever this is, they might be pretending they have less than they have for some reason. They might even be dodging taxes. It might be something quite serious like that. Or they might be avoiding something that they owe to you. It might be something like that as well, because I don't know, you've got some tie to them, or you used to. Yeah, I think you're quite close to this person actually at one time. They might have been hiding things when they're with you as well. I think you've moved on now from this person, but they're here for some reason. There's still some tie between you. You still have, I think you have another relationship now actually. I don't think you're with this person as a love connection, but I think they were once, maybe. I think they might be an ex. There's still some tie between you, and I think it's a money tie. And I think they're very deceptive. And I think they're making this very confusing. I think there's something they owe you, or they owe someone else at some kind of authority, someone like that. And you're kind of caught up in this for some reason. I don't know why you are. And you want to move on from it, but they're kind of making it very difficult and confusing. I hope that makes sense. I know it was a bit strange, but that's what I was seeing. I was trying to kind of articulate what I was seeing there. Anyway, so yeah, so the next card you have your past is the Seven of Swords. Yes. Yeah, I don't want to keep on talking about this horrible person, but something's unresolved. I keep on seeing this. Something's unresolved. And they're keeping the situation unresolved, I think, because they're not disclosing things. And again, it's something around money. And I think you'd love to totally move on from this. But when someone's hiding things and making everything really confusing, it messes everything up. And I think that's what they're doing. They're slowing down some kind of process. I'm not sure what that is. That's just what I'm seeing there, and it's something to do with money, and you'd like to cut ties from this person and this whole thing, but you can't right now. I think you will be able to soon. That's what I'm seeing. I hope that makes sense. I don't know if it does. That's just what I'm seeing there. Anyway, the other thing here is there's this new person here around you, a new love connection, I think. I think they've been hurt as well. They've been really, really hurt, just like you have. You've both come from difficult backgrounds, I think. You've both had quite bad experiences, I should say, in love. I'm just looking at this man running away, stealing these swords. And there are two swords kind of standing up, stuck in the earth, and he's left them behind. I think these two swords represent you and your new partner. You've both been left behind by people who were dishonest and not very good, and you're both still standing like these swords. I'm actually seeing a very solid future coming up for you. If you look at these swords again, they're stuck in the earth, so that's where the stability is, in the earth. So you've got stability ahead of you with this person. That's what I'm seeing. And if this is making sense to you, probably isn't, but if it is, I think once you're totally able to cut ties from this ex, this deceptive person, that's when things are going to start to take off between you, and this new you and them and this new relationship. I think that's when it's really going to start taking off. Yeah, again, it's a really solid relationship, or it has the potential to be. That's what I'm seeing there. Okay, so the first card you have your present is the Tower. Yes. Okay, so don't worry about this too much. I don't think it's as bad as it looks. It is a shock. The Tower is always a shock. I think this might be about a shock that might have already happened. It's not that bad. It's kind of a good shock, actually. I know that sounds really strange, but okay, so yeah, I'll tell you what I'm seeing. With this new relationship, I think you both had to really rise up out of the ashes, some really horrible situations. And I also think you both might have had some domineering people around you, bossing you around or whatever at some time in your past, probably in relationships, people who thought they're in charge of things. I'm just looking at this crown. And I think the shock might have been that maybe you didn't feel quite ready for a relationship. When you met them, you were just kind of getting out of this, you were rising up. And I think you were surprised by the feelings you had for this person. And I actually think they were similar. I keep on seeing you kind of mirroring each other because you've been through similar things and you're at a similar stage. When you met them, you're both getting over things. And yeah, you might be still holding back a little bit though with this person, not totally. I'm not seeing you being cold or anything like that, but I think you do have a bit of a fear. You have a bit of fear around you. And it's understandable actually, because of course when you've had someone who's the Seven of Swords and the Tower kind of running through your life, of course, you're going to be afraid of being in any relationship, really. It doesn't matter who it is. I think you'd still worry. But yeah, I think this is all going to just take time for you to heal from this, and for them as well. It's just a matter of healing, I think, for both of you, because I think you jumped in a little bit too soon. You're still healing. You both met and you jumped into this, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I think you both realize that. And you're slowing down, I think, when it comes to relationships as well. I think once you might have had this idea that getting to a relationship meant you had to kind of get to the next step and keep on climbing up the tower and, get together and be married. And I don't know if you like marriage or whatever, but, move it together and whatever, and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And now I think you probably have a much slower attitude to that. Slower attitude to love or relationships, if that makes sense. I think that's intellectually, though. I think you think, well, people are kind of forced to do all these things, to go on these things. People say, oh, when you're getting married, when you're doing this, and I don't want to be a part of that treadmill. I want to get off that, and I want to wait. I want to take my time. I want to get to know this person. And I think that's what you're doing. And also you're kind of, you have to heal, they do as well. So I think that's what you're doing. And I think that's a really good sign. I think it's a very mature sign. I think you have a much more mature outlook toward relationships than you used to. So that's really good. And that also, knowing that, shows me that this also has more of a chance of being stable as well. So the next card you have your present is the Knight of Cups. Yeah, so you're not the only one who's hesitating a bit in this new relationship. You're both like this. They're a bit afraid as well. They're not afraid of you. It's nothing to do with you. They're attracted to you. They have strong feelings for you. But sometimes I think, things like they just go back into how things were. They start remembering what happened to them in the past, the bad things, and then they just kind of want to go off on their own, and they don't feel so good. So, and you can be the same sometimes. So if you feel this person pulling away, or if they're a bit quiet or whatever, if they just want to go off by themselves or something, that's why. It's because of how they're still dealing with what's happened in the past. I think it kind of comes up and down in waves sometimes. It has nothing to do with you. It's all about what's happened to them in the past. And sometimes people who've been through these big tower moments and things like that, sometimes they can look for problems, sometimes they can overthink things, and I think that might be what you're doing a little bit here. Nothing's 100% sure in relationships, of course, but make sure you're not looking for things, looking for problems that aren't there. If you can, just try to let things flow. You do have a new way of looking at relationships now, logically. That's what I was seeing in the Tower card. But I think maybe your feelings might still need to catch up to that a bit, to catch up to, what you know intellectually. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so the last card you have your presence, the Four of Swords. Very, very peaceful card, a very restful card. Okay, so yeah, I'll just tell you what I'm seeing here. Yeah. This is really, really beautiful. I hope I don't upset anyone. I really don't mean to, just know that. So this card can be about blessings. If you look at the stained glass window on this card, there's a priest and he's blessing a man who's kneeling down. And I think this is a message for you. And I think this is here to tell you that you're blessed, and you always have been blessed. You've been through so much, but you've always been protected. You've always gotten through everything because you've been protected. Now, there's someone who wants to tell you, they wanted to tell you they've always had your back. They want to tell you that. There's still some regret around them. They wish they were there for you. They wish they were there for you, and they weren't able to be there for you for some reason. I'm seeing a hot climate. I don't know why I'm seeing that. I'm just seeing a very hot climate. I don't think this person's here anymore on this earth. I don't know if they were born in a hot climate or they came from a hot climate, I don't know. But yeah, what I'm getting is also that they didn't say what they wanted to say to you when you were younger, and you drifted apart. You drifted apart, and there was some kind of distance between you. The message is they have your back, they always have. They regret a lot of things. If this is all making sense to you, they're still watching you. They still watch you. They still care about you. They always have your back. They're always watching over you. And they couldn't protect you once. They couldn't watch over you once. They were away from you. They didn't mean to be away from you, but now they're always with you. That's what I'm seeing in that card. Okay, so yeah, I hope I haven't upset anyone. I don't mean to. I get really nervous if I see something like this. I don't like saying things like this, but I have to say what I see. So I hope that makes sense to someone. Okay, so right, so the first card you have for your futures, the Empress. Beautiful. Okay, look at how nurturing and beautiful and caring and everything this Empress is. Absolutely beautiful. Again, if that resonated with you, what I was seeing in the Four of Swords, just look at this Empress. You can really feel the love and the care and everything coming from this Empress. It radiates from her. I'm really, really feeling this. I'm really feeling this. And again, the whole background of this card's yellow. Sometimes yellow can be about intelligence, but it can also be about communication. And I think that's what it's about here. Again, whoever this is, they want to communicate to you that they love you, they have your back, they're around you, they're protecting you, and they regret that they couldn't do that once, but they're there now again. So I won't say any more about that. I was just seeing that again in this card. Okay, the other thing I'm seeing here is a pregnancy. So I think this might be a family member, or it might be someone very, very, very close to you, very close to you. They might not have announced this yet. I don't think anyone knows this yet. I think you will soon. I think you'll know about this soon. I don't think it's you. Might be, but I don't think it is. Yeah, I think they've probably been waiting for this for a long, long time, for this to come. And this is really, really, really super happy news for them. Now, there's a lot of wheat growing on this card in the front of this Empress. And wheat's traditionally a symbol of wealth. You know, people used to store wheat and trade it. So, yeah, it's a huge symbol of wealth. So I think they're going to be coming into some money, actually, some extra money. It's going to come to them as well. Now, I'm not seeing huge amounts of money falling on top of them or anything like that. I wish it was, but things are definitely going to improve for them financially, because I think they might have had a few financial problems. And, you know, of course, this child is well wanted and well loved and everything like that. And it's very, very positive for them. But of course, if you have financial problems and then you have a baby on top of that, it does bring a kind of extra lot of stress. Of course it does. But I am seeing this being relieved, and I am seeing, a lot of relief coming to them in terms of, their financial worries being relieved. So they're going to have double good news there. So it's fantastic, really beautiful. I love it. The next card you have, your future, is the Hermit. Okay, so I think this is about this person in the King of Wands, this friend or whoever this is, this person that was in this not so good relationship, and they probably still are in that relationship. I think there's going to be a time when they totally distance themselves from you. And I think they're also going to distance themselves from a lot of other people. They've already started doing that, I think, but they're going to do that even more now at this time. Now, if this happens, I can understand why you'd be really worried about them, being isolated, because I think there is some isolation in this relationship. I think they do have someone around them who might have tried to separate them from other people. And I also think you might have been in a situation in your past where you were isolated at one time, or you felt like that. So you're very sensitive to this, and you're picking up on this, and you're very worried about this. So if that's the case, yeah, I can see why you would be. So I don't think they're in any harm. I have to keep on saying that because I know you worry about them. And I think they're going through this time of isolation because that's what they want to do. They want to be by themselves so that they can kind of just think about where they are, whether they're happy or not, where they want to be, what they can do to get themselves out of the situation they're in. So I think they're already starting to think about, I'm not sure about this, I don't know, I'm getting red flags, I'm starting to see the reality of this now. And that's the beginning of them starting to try to see if they can get out of this, or at least think about that. So, there's going to be this time of isolation, and then I think after that they're going to come out of that, and that's when they're going to need you. They might even need a place to stay for a while, so just be prepared for that if this is resonating, and just be there for them. Just be there for them. They're going to really need you. I keep on seeing that. So the last card you have, your future, is the Moon. Yeah, they're really going to need your help. There's a lot going on in their mind, or there's going to be, or there is now, and there is going to be then, when they get through this. They might even have a bit of depression around them. Sorry about that noise. So, and I think they'll probably be venting to you a lot. They might even be crying a lot. They'll be going through a lot. They really will. They're going to let all of this out onto you. So just be there for them. This is the start of this big change. It's the start of them opening their eyes. And I think this change is going to start for them probably in around mid-September. I'm seeing a lot of big changes happening everywhere in September. I keep on seeing that in all these readings. People waking up, seeing reality, things being revealed, all of that kind of thing. So yes, September's going to be a really big month for everyone. I've been feeling that for a while. Very turbulent, but it's good. People opening their eyes. Okay, so I won't talk about that. But yeah, if this is resonating, if you've been worried about this person, just know they'll make their way out of this, but they are going to need you to be strong for them. They're not going to need you to say, I told you so. They're not going to need you to say, oh, I told you that was a horrible person. I know you didn't say that, but they're not going to need questioning. All they're going to need is support, because they're going to be in a very, 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 very bad way. They'll be crying. I'm seeing depression around this as well. So be very, very gentle with this person. Just let them sleep on your sofa, in your bed, or whatever, and just let them, lie down and rest and watch Netflix or something and cry on your shoulder. They're just going to need that. That's what I'm seeing. So Cancer, I hope this resonated. General readings can't always resonate with everyone, but again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to, and thank you so much for watching.